Have you ever seen someone giving their all, cooking, cleaning, showing up like a spouse without the title? Or maybe you've been that person. In today's podcast, we are breaking down the trap of doing too much too soon and why it always backfires. Stay tuned.
So friends, welcome back to another episode of the Blissology Podcast. I am your girl, your host, Cece. As always, I have my amazing husband / co-host. What's going on, babe?
A lot is going on. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Yes.
And hey, family, we're so happy you're tuning in for another real, another raw, another relevant conversation about love, about relationship, and everything in between.
That's right.
If this is your first time tuning into our podcast, this is a weekly podcast where we talk about the love, the life, the family,
and
relationship as well.
That's right. Yes, we are so glad and so happy to have you guys with us today on this beautiful Saturday. But I can't believe it's April already.
It is April.
It is April. Listen, I've been saying this a lot. Time is moving pretty fast, so you gotta catch up. Welcome April and happy April to you guys. Right?
Hey, absolutely. And as always, before we get into the topic of the day, we always like to share our blissful moment with you. Now, that's either something that we did or something that happened to us during the week.
Yeah. So, babe, what's your blissful moment?
Well, my blissful moment is not quite something that happened. It's something that's going to happen.
Okay, what's happening?
I think yesterday I was going through some videos and I came across that video that we shot on July 4th, 2023.
Oh.
We actually had a barbecue / picnic / pool day. So today I want to have a repeat of that.
Oh,
so
nice.
I've got the chicken already in the season.
Okay.
I may run out to go get some ribs. We haven't had ribs in a while. So, and obviously we got some corn yesterday. So we are going to have barbecue / whatever else come.
Okay.
So today it's all about outdoors. So as soon as we're done filming this podcast, I am going to bring everyone out.
Yes.
And I already have a trick. I'm going to turn off the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And that kind of like
push
everyone
you're gonna
out.
hear your daughter's gonna be complaining. You know your daughter's gonna complain
that
because
will give them reasons to come out.
Listen, you guys. Last night, out of nowhere, the connection decided to stop working.
Something happened.
And our daughters was complaining.
It was
Like
late. It was like 11:15.
They were playing Minecraft. You know, kids love Minecraft and Roblox, right? And I was just watching. I was watching a good movie too, and you were on the computer doing your stuff.
And all
of a sudden,
me.
the connection was out, and the kids were complaining, and we were like, "Well, we might as well go to sleep early." So, listen, we had to go to sleep early. And mind you, on the weekend, we stay up until what, 1 o'clock?
Yeah, sometime. So went to sleep early last night.
1
and today
o'clock?
we're gonna have a barbecue day or grilling day.
But I'll be on my laptop doing something. I'm sure I'll be doing some kind of
content. Do that because
okay?
I am going to cut off the Wi-Fi.
Listen,
so.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
That's what's coming for today. Obviously, we're looking forward to it. And in that moment when I watched that video, it really took me back.
Took you back 2 years ago.
We spend a lot of time indoors, and if we could do a little bit, and obviously we don't have to leave the house.
Yeah.
We could get creative with it. And I haven't grilled in a while, so I needed to make sure that
it's
grill
been a
still
minute
works.
since the grill. You only grill once a year. July 4th.
Yes. and obviously, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It has to be fun because it was fun last, and we're going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It should be fun. So,
Yeah.
in today's episode, it's going to be a hot one. Maybe not as hot as the grill that I'm going to be on, but it's a hot one. We're talking about something that we see too often: giving wife or husband benefit while you're still in the dating stage.
Listen, I've seen them.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. Too many people are playing house without any real foundation, and then they're wondering why things fall apart.
Yeah, some people works for them, some it don't, you know.
And it may, but you know what? Let's talk about it. Why do people do this? Especially women.
What do we do? What?
Play house. You know, you find yourself cooking. You know, I'm talking about full meals. You know, cleaning house, giving up your bodies or
Not
giving
my
up
body.
their bodies, rather, giving up their peace and sometimes their purpose for someone who hasn't made a real commitment to them.
Yes. I mean,
Why?
that's a good question, baby. I think when it comes to that, it has to be pressure. Pressure from society.
Okay.
Pressure from social media.
Okay.
You know, as we all know, social media makes it look like you need to do the most to keep somebody. Okay? Hello,
You're right.
somebody.
You're right on that. You're right.
You see people posting pictures, vacations, or, what we normally see in December, matching pajamas. And you feel like, dang,
I gotta be doing that stuff
maybe
too.
I gotta prove I'm worth keeping. And especially for us women, right? We're told to show that we are wife material. We know, so we overgive.
Absolutely.
Right? And we play the role of hoping we'll get chosen. And let me tell you this right now, sis, and this is coming from the heart. Being good to someone does not guarantee they'll be good to you.
You're absolutely right.
Guarantee.
You're not in a relationship to audition. You in it to observe and to learn.
Yes.
And fellas, that's the same thing goes for you. Some of y'all are acting like your husbands. You're paying rent, you're buying expensive bags, you're fixing cars. And she's calling you little friends in public. I don't know if that's the best, but she's calling you dad in public, right? You're doing all that, but when her phone rings, she turns it over. That's not love.
That's suspicious.
Listen, that's being used. And don't confuse access with intimacy.
This is something, baby. Say it one more time.
Do not confuse access with intimacy.
Oof, that was a word. Don't confuse access with intimacy. That's a word right there. I'm going to write this somewhere. Okay.
You're right. And you got to see, dating is the time to evaluate your character, not invest your whole identity, right? And when we give too much too soon, we confuse chemistry with commitment. And believe me, they are not the same.
At all. They're not the same at all.
So, and you got to talk about what it costs when you give husband or wife benefits too soon. First of all, you lose you. You start changing your schedule, your values, even your goals. Just to stay in alignment with someone who hasn't even said, I'm in this for the long haul.
Yes, listen, say it louder for the people in the back that needs to hear this, okay? Because I've seen women, who put their dreams on pause to play housewife.
Yeah.
Right? With a man who can't even commit to a relationship title. Like, what are we? Are we our situationship? You can't even commit. Then why are we doing this?
Yeah. And there's other things you got to ask, is if you don't, now you find yourself 2 years in and you are emotionally drained, you're spiritually confused, and you don't even know who you are anymore.
Yeah. And that goes for men too.
Oh yeah. Men, and especially men, sometimes we're pouring into someone who's not pouring back into us.
Right.
And that creates resentment.
Oh yes.
You feel used, you feel unappreciated.
Yes.
And then you left bitter, literally bitter, saying that all women are the same or love isn't real. Nah, bro. You just overplayed your role too early.
Too early, too soon. Because giving too much too soon, people's going to take you for granted.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? They're going to take it for granted.
If you give the price without the process, they'll enjoy the gift, but never honor the giver.
I say if you give the cookie too early.
All right, and she said if you give the cookie too early, they'll enjoy the cookie, but never honor the cookie giver.
Listen.
It's more like it?
It's more like it, baby. As our Steve Harvey said, hold on to your cookie, girl, because you don't want to give him the cookie too early, because you got to hold on to it.
Yeah, and you got to really let that sit in.
Yes.
Because when there's not much effort put forth to get all of it, you can't expect this person to appreciate it.
And sometimes they'll see you like, you're just too quick. That's one thing that I've heard it before. You too quick. You give up the cookie too quick, too easily.
Yeah, you're right. And when it doesn't take a lot of effort for someone to get all of it, you can't expect them to appreciate it.
Right.
A healthy relationship requires space. It requires boundaries and requires balance.
Yes.
If you're acting married without a covenant, you're building something that has no roof.
Yes.
Talking about no doors,
no foundation,
and nothing to keep the storm out.
Yeah, that part.
So put some good practice into your dating life, just to make sure that you're creating those boundaries, just to make sure that things are built on something that's solid.
Yes, absolutely. And talk about boundaries earlier. You gotta have that. And I think when it comes to dating nowadays, if I may ask you, of course, you've been you out of the game for a while, but
yes, I wouldn't even know what to do right now. I wouldn't.
But in your own words, what does it look like? What would you say to a single man who out there, doing all the things that you mentioned earlier, paying bills and doing things they don't even know if they're doing right?
I think it has to start with clarity, right? Be clear on your values, the standards that you have,
Yeah.
and some of the things that are non-negotiable to you. You have to be very clear on that.
Yes.
Now, communicate them up front. Don't wait
right.
like years later. No, up front. Lay out what they are. And I say, don't be afraid to say, I'm not going to give you all access to my life.
To my cookie.
Just because we like each other.
That's right.
It's okay to say that.
Yeah. Communication. I agree.
Oh, yes.
I agree. And I'm going to say it's, it means protecting your time, sis. Okay. Your time, your body. Okay. Your body.
Yeah.
All right. Your space. And most importantly, babe, your emotions. Ooh, your emotion. You don't need to be at their house every day. You don't need to give them your body for you to feel worthy, for you to feel like, man, I'm with this guy. I do everything for them. And I just let them have it.
Just have it. You don't have to spend the night. That's how you let them have it if you spend the night.
If you spend the night too early,
yeah.
to me, that's a red flag. If I'm dating you and we're spending time together and I'm at your house and we are, spending night together, like within weeks or months into dating,
But within months, it may make sense. Within
I'm not
weeks.
sleeping at your house, babe. I'm not staying overnight.
I'm not saying that because we did it. That's not something that we did. But, people would find things that may make sense for them. But yes, doing that too quickly doesn't make sense. And in sharing finances, that's something also you got to be very cautious as to how, because sometimes it'll come across that you just trying to buy this person's love.
Correct. Yes.
And I'll tell you, loyalty should be proven through
Yes.
consistency and character.
Yes.
Not through codependence.
That's
not
right.
through all of these additional things.
But
that
that's
we're
what
doing.
we've seen nowadays, though. When you look at the social media world, that's what we see. We see a lot of the Gen Zs, a lot of other generations are
doing as much as I can to earn loyalty. And I'd say for you, man, stop using money or acts of service to earn love. If she only comes around when you are giving, you're not her man. You're just her sponsor.
what?
But yeah,
That's an award.
listen.
So you're sponsoring her.
Well, yes. If she's only around when you're giving stuff, she only needs that stuff, not really you. So you're just sponsoring her needs. And we have to be mindful, be cautious of that because we get used.
Oof. Yeah, that's a good one because listen, in today's society, in today's culture, right? We rushing everything.
Yes.
This is to me the generation, the century that we are in right now. It's like a microwave century. Like everything is so
we need things done in seconds.
Everything is like moving so quick, and everything got to get done at the right away.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to tell my single friends, my single ladies, my single viewers out there, you have to ask yourself this question, right? Are we rushing into something that God didn't even ordain? Because some of us are creating emotional soul ties with people who were only meant to teach us one lesson, not share a lifetime.
Yeah, sometimes we stay into these things for way too long.
Way too long. Listen, sis, if God said this ain't it for you, then this ain't it. Don't force things. Don't say, I'm gonna try it. It's not gonna work.
And it's exactly that.
It's not gonna work.
It's okay to say no while you're dating.
Yeah.
It's okay to protect your peace.
Yes.
It's okay to wait for a relationship that's mutual.
Absolutely.
A relationship that's intentional. In a relationship that's spirit-led, it's okay.
Yes.
You don't have to rush into things.
You don't have to rush into things.
No.
We didn't rush into things. We did it, 4 years?
We dated for 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
Oh, a whole 5 years.
A whole 5 years. To the point where my mom is like, what are we doing
What
here?
are we doing? Yes.
What's going on? Is it wasting your time? What's happening?
And you gotta learn to keep it real.
Okay, let's keep it real with our story.
You have to.
Because we want to share how we did our how our life was before we got married.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, listen, we didn't get everything right at the beginning.
We didn't get everything right.
But we didn't go down the road of giving husband and wife benefits while we were dating.
Listen, our parents
we couldn't. Listen, I was living at my parents and she was living at her parents. She wasn't over at my house cooking and spending the night. No, she couldn't do that, even if she wanted to,
Yeah, your mom would have some kind of issue with it.
Listen, if you stopped by to see me, which you barely did, but if you did, if it's later in the day, by 6 o'clock light, the sun needs to still be out. And they'll ask, my mom is the type, she won't come to you and ask, hey, it's time for you to wrap up, but she'll give me some sign and say,
wrap up.
She needs to go.
Yeah, but good thing we didn't have that.
No.
Good thing because my parents would not let me go to your house like that.
No. But I've stayed late at your house.
Yes, you come to my house, pick me up to go
They
out on a
said they
date.
had to see what I was doing.
Listen, okay.
Her dad's always sitting there while I'm sitting.
My dad is always there. But I'm a daddy's girl.
If we sit in the front porch, every 2 minutes he comes and opens the door to see what we do.
He's like, y'all good? Y'all just talking? What's happening? Yes. We have like very traditional parents and strict.
Yes.
Because my parents were very much like, no, you will not go into his house. Okay. He comes to your house. And even if I would stay at your house, your dad is even worse.
Listen,
my father-in-law is something else.
And there's certain things our parents would not tolerate, and to this day, I still appreciate them for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Because as parents, they knew their responsibilities.
Although at that time, we didn't see it.
No, listen, when you're young, you're young. You want to have fun.
You want to have a good time, yes.
But you know what? We weren't the type who would disobey our parents.
Correct.
Yes,
Correct.
we may not like it, but we will do it.
Very obedient.
Yes. Sometimes too obedient, I would say. But this wasn't
as a man, you were, I don't know if that's even a word, over obedient.
Yeah, I could have said that. But my parents weren't like the ones that caused me issues. In fact, they welcomed me to stay in. I know my dad built an extra room to the house with my own bathroom.
Because he didn't want you to go anywhere. It's like trying to get you, tie you down.
I stayed there for a number of years. But it's coming. But yes, we were obedient and we listened to our parents. We may have disagreed with something or probably wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
But we didn't go behind the back to do things that we know that they would disapprove.
Correct.
And to this day, I look back on some of the things that I thought about doing, and I'm glad that they were the deterrent.
Right.
Because God knows where I would have been now if I had done those things. So when you look at it, the situation that many of the youngsters are going through right now, like cohabiting before marriage, that wasn't our thing.
Yeah.
We never thought about living together.
Yeah.
We weren't doing sleepovers. Even if we wanted, we couldn't. I remember there's that one time we wanted to go to Orlando, wanted to spend a weekend, and your dad was like, no way, that's not happening. You can go to Orlando, you wake up early on, go there, get in the park, enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
But we're coming back home at the end of the day.
Yes. Or my brother will come with me.
Yes. And we ended up doing that a little bit later on. I think we were actually, he was engaged. We were engaged and we went in to spend a weekend.
Yes.
He wanted to make sure there's someone there, So,
like, because he didn't trust you.
Well, he had every reason to not trust me because I know what I was thinking.
I was thinking, listen, I'm like, my man, we at the park taking pictures, having a good time. But in his
I was thinking what's going to happen later in the day. We're going to have a good time during the day. We're going to have a good time later in the day as well. So
I was just not, I wasn't even thinking about that.
So as a father now, I understand where he was coming from.
Right.
Because listen, back then I was thinking that we're going to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
But our situation was different.
Yes.
We weren't doing no sleepovers. Cece wasn't at my parents' kitchen cooking for me.
Ooh.
No. This wasn't the season we were in, right? And honestly, I respected that. Mm-hmm. So all these things, when I look back, it helps me cherish what we have even more.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I know I wasn't in the kitchen, at your parents doing things. The only time I was making sure that, the only time I cooked for my husband was when we were dating, was when we were going on a July 4th trip to the beach where I would pack out the mac and cheese, rice and chicken and all the great stuff. And of course, your mom was there too. Mm-hmm. So those were the time. And I would cook at home, okay, at my house.
Yeah.
And then he'll come and pick me up and then we go together. Not that I'm at his mom's house.
Yeah.
Because the one thing about my father-in-law, you can't come over and be in his room.
Nope.
I go to your house. I'm in the living room with the rest of the family. Your sister, your brother was not there at the time. I think he was in college. No. Your sister and your mom, your dad. There's no way if I would go into his room and just close the door and chill.
Nope.
Your dad would come in the room and knock. Yep. I mean, yes.
Well, first he'll send my mom.
No, but your dad is so straightforward.
Yes,
I don't think he would send your mom.
But I don't think I would have it in me to even try that.
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Because when you're your parents, you know what's acceptable, you know what's not.
Right.
And having you in my room while he's home,
I
wouldn't take that chance.
Yeah. Yes, it's just something that was never crossed my mind because I know the type of person that I am, and I don't want people to see me as, oh, this girl is very fast, she's this and she's that. And third, I just know my values and where how my parents raised me. Yeah. So I wasn't packing his lunch, okay? I wasn't prepping meal. Now, as a wife, I do these things. Although he does his lunch in the morning sometimes, but I wasn't doing these things. That doesn't mean I didn't love him. I still loved him. He was very special to me, but I also knew that we both needed to grow, right? I didn't feel like I had to prove my value by doing the most.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you knew who you were and you knew what's needed and you did what was necessary.
Yes.
You know, and that was one of the things that made me take you very seriously. You know, you weren't trying to buy my love with favors.
Yes.
No, you didn't have to.
No.
You carried yourself with purpose. You know, you had goals and you had boundaries and you had standards.
Yes.
And you weren't trying to win me over with service.
No.
And you showed up as yourself.
Listen,
and
I
appreciated it.
Yes, I love you, but I'm going to keep my boundaries. I'm going to keep my standards because I was told that as a young lady, you got to set your standards. You got to set your boundaries. If he is the right man, he is the right man. And let's be real, it actually helped us, you know, in the long run when you think about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Not giving each other full cookies, right? I'm not giving you I'm not giving you the cookie. All right, my cookie is golden. Okay, I'm not gonna give it to you early on. I need you to hold on and wait.
Yes, and you know what? That allows us to not let ourselves be distracted by the illusion of marriage.
Yes.
You know, we were focused on getting to know each other, you know, learning how to communicate and seeing if we were aligned spiritually and emotionally.
That's right.
You know, because that moment really gives us the ability to really build on something.
Yeah.
You know, that season of our relationship was all about foundation, not fantasy.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, if she had been doing everything for me back then, I'm talking about doing the laundry, doing the cooking, playing wifey, I don't think I would have valued you as much as I do now.
Interesting.
Right? So because sometimes when people get all the benefits up front, they forget what it is actually worth.
Yes. That's good.
Yes.
That's
so
good.
So it's important to put some effort first.
Yes.
And then get the reward later.
Absolutely.
But if you give it all up front, then what did I have to do to get it?
Listen. No, my cookie is golden. So, and I agree. We didn't rush into, you know, roles we weren't ready for. I think it's so important for you to be ready. We didn't skip steps trying to create something that only time and commitment can build.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I encourage somebody listening, you don't have to overgive to be loved.
Amen.
The right one will appreciate who you are, not just what you can do for them.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
That's right.
And the right person will grow with you, not use you.
Hey.
You know, looking back, I thank God that we had boundaries.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
Because those boundaries protected us, give us space to mature into who we are right now, and set us up for the marriage we have today.
Yes, that is good.
Because boundaries are important. It allows you to really let things happen at the time that's appropriate and not force it to happen before then.
Yes, that's good. That's good. Listen, if you're in a space where you feel like you have to do everything just to be seen as worthy of commitment, it's to pause. You got to pause, take a break, take a deep breath. Okay. You don't have to earn what's already yours. You don't have to prove that, hey, I'm wifey material. I'm commitment material. I'm going to commit to you. And then when we get to the next step, then we will get to the next step because I want you to see that I'm committed. Yeah. And then when we get to marriage, then yes, you're going to see all the wifey stuff.
You're right. Absolutely. You know, you do things as the time seems appropriate.
That's right.
Yeah. So
that's right.
You know, and I want to speak directly to those of you who are dating right now. I get it. Being single can feel sometimes lonely. Yes. You know, you want that connection, you want that partnership, you want that ride or die love. But I need you to hear this. Don't give away what is sacred to someone who hasn't made you sacred in their life.
That's right.
Marriage is more than love. It's a commitment. It's sacrifices in a covenant. When you give husband and wife benefits without the foundation, you're building your future on sand. It won't last.
Listen, I'm not cooking for you just to prove that I can be a good wife. I can cook. I can clean. I'm not doing it. If you love me, you love me for who I am. When we get to the next phase of our life, then you're going to see, I did say I'm a good cook, then I'm going to start cooking for you.
Well, if you say you're a good cook, I'm not saying cook for me, but maybe cook something at home. I will come and taste it.
That's fine too.
I want to take that chance and find out we're married and all you could do is kind of throw it this here and there and taste nothing like food. No, I got to eat. So you don't have to cook for me, but you can cook something. I'll come and taste it.
You know, when we were dating, that happened.
Oh, yeah, I did taste her food.
That happened. Yes.
Listen, if she couldn't cook, I would marry her. No.
Baby, there's other... Anyways.
and you know, this is the little things you got to keep in mind. Now, yes, if you're in a relationship, you want to know if your spouse can cook. There are ways to actually get that done.
Yes.
So do all of those things. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And yes, if it means cooking for your partner to come and taste at your home or at your parents' home, do that.
Yes.
It's important that you start valuing yourself now.
Yes, that's right.
You know, set the standard now.
That's right.
Stop settling for vibes and start looking for vision.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Because the right one, the right person for you, they won't need you to prove your worth.
No,
they'll
won't.
recognize it and they'll protect it.
That's good. They won't force you to do things you don't want to do.
So rest assured that if you are being yourself, you're presenting yourself in a way that really portrays who you are.
Yes.
Not a make-believe person.
Yes.
The right person for you will see it.
Right.
And you know what? If you're in the dating world right now and you find yourself doing stuff, take a step back to see if you are doing either husband stuff or if you're doing wife stuff. And ask yourself, is this the right time to be doing this?
Yes.
And more importantly, why am I doing it?
Why am I doing it?
If you're doing it so you can get approved to be the husband or to be the wife, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Yes. And just know, don't let peer pressure rush them into something they're not ready for.
Yeah, you're right. I know it's very easy for us where we're sitting right now to say, hey, don't let peer pressure cause you to. But I understand if someone you're getting up in age and you're not at that stage, or the future does not seem like you are going to get there and you want to get there, you'll want to do whatever you can.
Right.
I understand that.
But if you're someone who's in college and still in your 20s, it's okay to take your time.
Yes, it's okay. And even if you're someone who's getting up in age,
yes,
it's okay to make sure that you get the right person.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you could be forcing that relationship with
Right.
someone who
Right.
has no desire to be, or someone that can become a pain in your life.
That's
so
true.
regardless of where you are, you gotta look to see what makes sense for you.
Yes.
Right. And
absolutely.
if you're doing certain things, make sure you're doing it for the right reason.
Yes. Don't play wife material without a ring on it.
So if you're dating right now, again, look at what's happening in your life, how you're bonding with your partner, and have this discussion. Remember, I said earlier, it's important to be clear on your expectation, clear on your vision, and clear on what you want to get from that relationship. So be clear with the person that you're with.
Right.
You don't have to go and do those extra things hoping that they will see you.
Right.
No.
Right.
From the get-go, lay out what you want to get to. Now, if you've settled on, those are the things we're going to do.
Yeah.
Maybe you find yourself in a cohabiting situation. Those are the ways that we're going to live together.
Yes.
Then by all means, as long as it's something that you agreed on, by all means do so.
Yes.
Now, we never cohabited together, so that's not something that I'm saying here, just go and do. But if you find yourself there, listen, we all have to live the best way we can.
We do. I agree.
But at the end of the day, you just have to make sure that whatever you're doing,
yes,
you're doing it for the right reason.
the right reason.
Right?
Yes.
And if you're giving husband and wife benefits, if you're not there yet, I probably wouldn't keep doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So listen, guys, we want to keep this conversation going in the comments. If you've ever found yourself in this type of situations where you find yourself giving the husband or the wife benefits, but you're not quite there, what did you learn from it? Would like to hear from you. And I think our audience would like to hear from you as well.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I'm hoping that this episode gave you some clarity on some of the ways that you can approach your dating life and maybe change your perspective on how you've seen things and how
Right.
you'll probably be seeing things in the future. Again, I encourage you guys to share this with someone and that may need to hear this. Who knows? You could know someone, you may have a friend, you may have a family member, you may have a coworker who find themselves doing too much.
Yes.
and have no idea if that too much is ever
Right.
going to get them to where they
Right.
need to be.
Right.
So again, please remember to subscribe. Please remember to like. Please remember to leave us some comments. Especially when you subscribe, you never know what the next episode could be.
That's right.
In fact, it could be the exact words that you've been waiting for.
That's
so
right.
we want you to be notified when the next episode comes out.
Yes.
So thank you very much for listening. Until then, take care.
Bye.
Peace.